What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Transformation Academy. Look, y'all, my bad. The video got cut off because the phone is in the sun. So if anybody has an iPhone, you know that thing cuts off after a while if it gets too hot. But y'all about to still get this message, all right? So I was in the middle of saying, like, as believers, when we fall down, we are still called to get back up. It doesn't mean we don't fall, right? Doesn't mean we don't backslide. That's the word I was looking for earlier. And we're called to get back up. We're called to get back up. But a wise person, right? A wise believer, right? Will learn what their stumbling blocks are. Like we talked about, number one, your weaknesses, bringing them to God. But then also you want to purge yourself from those weaknesses, from those stumbling blocks. Now, just to give y'all an example of a stumbling block for me, right? Just being delivered from lust and spirit of perversion and a lot of just sexually immoral thinking patterns. I had to purge myself from music, from certain things. I can't listen to 90s music. Like, I'ma just keep it all the way real with y'all. I cannot listen to 90s music, R&B especially, because once I do, like, that spirit will start to rise up in me. It will start to rise up in me. And we all have stumbling blocks, like, as human beings, right? As human beings, we all have stumbling blocks. Don't fool yourself into thinking just because you're a believer that you don't have these stumbling blocks. Paul talks about the stumbling blocks in the New Testament, and he was mainly talking about him, like, as more mature believers, we want to be sure that we're not being stumbling blocks for the less mature, like the immature believers, the ones that's like just coming into the faith and things like that. Because certain things, we understand certain things at a greater level the more mature we get. So you just want to be mindful of what your weaknesses are, what your stumbling blocks are, and you want to be sure that you are purging yourself. You're allowing God to take that taste out of your mouth. And how do you do that? You renew your mind. You fast from those things, and you allow God to give you the right thinking about it, which is the renewing of your mind. You allow him to just do the greater work in you. You allow him to give you his precepts, which is his word, his thinking, because his thinking is just greater than our thinking, y'all. Just being honest, his thinking is greater than our thinking. We have to have that kind of mindset. We have to approach it with that kind of mindset. All right. So that's the 3 action steps to take now that you are delivered, and how to stay delivered. And these things you want to keep repeating. You want to build habits around these 3 things. And I got a bonus for y'all. That came to mind at the end of this, at the end of my notes, is you want to be sure that you're replacing the old habits, the old patterns with new. Because the enemy loves a bored mind. I'm going to just keep it honest. He loves a bored mind. He loves an idle mind. He loves an isolated person, which is why community's one. You want to be sure that as you're taking these things out of your routine, your daily habits, your daily activities, your occupations, like as you're cleansing yourself, you're purging yourself, as you're doing all the right things, you want to be sure that you're replacing it with new right things, right? And they might not necessarily be like what I'm trying to say is, you don't expect too much from yourself from the initial beginning, from the get-go, from the door, like in the sense of you knowing exactly what you should be doing now that you're not doing all the bad things, like, or the wrong things, right? That don't expect yourself to have everything in order now that you're no longer here. it's a process. It's a process. And what I mean by a process, it's a trial and error. It's a, let me try this to replace that, because this is no longer where I used to be, right? But then even still in that, God still wants us to sit with him and evaluate and reassess and assess. So along this, just know that these things take time. These things take initiative. These things just take practice. You're not going to be from A to Z by tomorrow. You're not going to be from A to Z probably by 5 years. This was a lesson I just learned. You're not going to be from A to Z. You're not going to arrive in 10 years. Like, as long as you're here on this earth, the process of growth, the process of staying free, the process of sanctification, that's really what this is, y'all. We're walking out our sanctification, meaning we're walking out who we used to be to get in agreement and in alignment with who God says we are. And that is a process. And we have to learn how to enjoy the process. And I'm talking to me. We have to learn how to embody the process, right? And to accept, embrace the process, because it's the people we meet along the way in the process that's like, it's not the end goal that's going to bring us the overall fulfillment. It's the people we meet along the way. It's the journey. Like, it's the things we learn along the way. That's like, my goodness. It's the revelations he gives us along the way. That's just like, whoa, God, you blew my mind. It's the little things, and it's not even I don't want to minimize this, but when God blows your mind, you don't want to miss that. Like, you don't want to be so contemplated on being at the end goal that you miss God being God for you. Because then it's like, y'all get what I'm saying? What's the point? Like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, you want to take advantage of opportunities like this. Transformation Academy is an opportunity for you to be in community, to connect with people all over the world, to share your testimony, to hear other people's testimony, to learn, to grow, to become the best version of yourself, to try new things, to see what really God put in you. You get what I'm saying? And you wanna be present for that. That's the word I'm looking for. If we're so fixated on the end goal, it's going to be really hard to be present. And a lot of things that God wants us to get along the way is going to take us being present, take us being aware. And he wants us to be present with him along the way. Like, who you are right now, God loves that version of you so much, no more than he loves the future version of you. So you fall in love with this you right now, and where you and God are right now. And then tomorrow, and then the next day, and then who you are, and you just keep working at it. You keep working at it, all right? I pray this message blesses somebody. I love y'all with all my heart. Y'all, it's day 13. We getting after it, all right? We are getting after the best and truest version of ourselves, and we are getting in an alignment and an agreement with God. There is no better place to be than that, all right? I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.